Hello to everyone. First of all, by tradition, we're very pleased to be here. And first of all, thank you, Gurtam, for inviting us to such a big event. And what is really valuable about this event, in my opinion, that the audience here is so broad, so diversified that you can really have the unique opportunity to get in touch with very interesting people who maybe you will never see if you haven't been invited to this event. So many of you maybe already heard about our company and know our company as a Russian manufacturer of GPS trackers, vehicle trackers. We produce personal trackers as well, and radio frequency identification systems. However, today I would like to focus on a different subject related to wireless solutions in telematics and wireless control of parameters. I'm sure, and this is not only my opinion, in our company we believe that wireless solutions actually is the future of telematics. I don't know whether you agree with me or not. Do you think that, is this subject really interesting to you? Wireless solutions, wireless sensors, wireless trackers? Okay, thank you. And based on this belief that we all have on our minds, we decided to go to this site, go to this wireless world, and to create temperature, illumination, impact, rotation, inclination, magnetic field sensors, which are all wireless. And we always use Bluetooth low energy technology for them. So you can use all these wireless sensors in refrigerators, stationary refrigerators, moving refrigerators, to control some vehicle units when you are working, for example, with some components or some heavy vehicles, agricultural vehicles, and you want to control some additional extra tools that you are using with these vehicles. So it's very comfortable to use wireless sensors, lifting equipment, and for sure you can control cargos, especially some cargos which require respecting temperature requirements while transportation, so it's very comfortable. And I would like to ask you how many of you face the problem of the temperature control. Just raise your hands. I want to understand. Okay, so there are many of you face the issue of temperature. But now maybe you will just tell me what is the percentage of this work in the whole amount of all your issues? 10%, 20%, even less. Okay, so this is already interesting to us because we have work. You will provide us with this work for us. So today I would like to tell you about our first wireless sensor, ADM31, temperature and illumination sensor. Actually, you can see all the data in my slide. I don't think there's really a need to read because everyone can read. I just want to emphasize that we created a very unique solution because it controls at the same time temperature and illumination. What's the use of that? But very often when the illumination is also controlled, you can really control, if you imagine a refrigerator, a big truck. Yes, when the doors are opened, you can understand it easily by the values, by the illumination values that will be shown in the Sensolate application, which I will talk about a bit later. So what are the problems, what are the main problems which we can solve using our wireless trackers, temperature sensor specifically? For sure, I think when our engineers were elaborating this specific solution, they were thinking of perishable produce, which are so many, and I know that many transportation companies face these problems so often in their activities, in their real life, that sometimes it's so challenging to run this kind of business. I don't know, I'm basing on our experience in Russia, because Russia is a very big country, and transportation is really a big issue in Russia, because we are very famous for our good quality roads as well. So, and our special conditions and special requirements. I think maybe for many companies from the African continent, African region, this solution may be really interesting from any hot countries, because this is actually a very cool solution to protect your cargo during a long transportation, and thus minimize the risks of losses, any damage, and so on. So this is, I don't know whether you are familiar with this application. I'm sure you are, because this is the famous sensilator, which I find personally very attractive, beautiful, and simple to get the data. This is not very sophisticated. Here you can see our the data collected from our 3 sensors that we have installed on a truck, and the first sensor has been installed outside. So here you can see actually the temperature of the environmental temperature, 19 degrees of Celsius, and 2 other sensors we have installed them into the truck. So here you can see the same temperature. It's very comfortable. If you work with this, I'm sure you can really evaluate all the advantages of this application, because here in real time you can really control the temperature in your refrigerator inside, and you can really understand where the doors are opened, whether they are closed, because the illumination is also controlled here in Luxus. So this is a report which we have generated from We Alone as well, and it shows how actually the values are displayed. Illumination sensor, temperature sensor, and illumination and temperature values, I would say, because we have the only one sensor for illumination and temperature control. So these reports are very helpful when you try to understand why the cargo was damaged, for example. So this is very useful to make decisions afterwards. Maybe this is your driver who was guilty because he opened the door, he just went out, was smoking, and I don't know, chatting with his friends. Anyway, the fact is always in front of you. You can see it, you can judge very objectively, thanks to our hardware and these very useful reports from We Alone. The same report about the temperature. So this is actually the report which shows how it works, because here this refrigerator was just going during maybe 2 or 3 days, and you can see how it works, because you can see the temperature of 3 sensors and how it has been changing during the time. So everything is very transparent here in this report. And to simplify your life, we have created a special application, Android-based application, which allows you to get all the data in real time via Bluetooth. So you just download this application, and you can see all the values, temperature, illumination, if you use our inclination sensor. So because here the example is with our inclination sensor as well, so you can see all the data in this application on your screen. So in this case, I would like to emphasize that in this case, you even don't have to use a GPS tracker. You can just use this application and with your phone without opening the doors of a refrigerator, because sometimes it's really critical. You can get all the data in this way. So I think this solution, so ADM31, which is our temperature and illumination sensor, is actually our first pilot wireless sensor. However, we have an inclination sensor as well, which we are ready to demonstrate you today in our stand. And we even bought a toy track for you, and I'm sure that you will like it, because I know that most of you are men. All men like playing even toy cars, and we will provide you with a special remote control, which you will be able to take in your hands and to just play with this track, because we have put our inclination sensor just there on. And in sensor later as well on our tablet, as well as in this application on my colleague's cell phone, you will be able to see how it works. It's really impressive. I really advise you to go there and to entertain yourself. So this actually we try to describe here the main frequent damaging of transported goods, but I'm sure you are aware of these problems, because as far as I know, perishable produce, just like ice cream maybe, or fish, or meat, and maybe another problem relates to medicine, because I know that in many cases you are not just allowed to violate the norms, the requirements of transportation for medicines, because afterwards they might be damaged and cannot be used by people. So we offer this solution to solve all these problems, and I hope to see all of you in our stand, and to play with our toys, to see all our GPS trackers, which we have also brought here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ksenia. We actually do have a couple of minutes here for questions, if we have any. Do you have any questions from the audience? The question in the middle, Esteban.
How many sensors can you connect to the tracking device?
I'm sorry, don't see you. Don't see you.
Over here.
Ah, okay. Hola.
Hola.
See, once again, please.
How many sensors can you connect per tracking device?
Actually, we can connect 3 sensors, I think, with our ADM007 Bluetooth. We have tried, I think, with 3 sensors, up to 3 sensors now. Yeah.
Thank you.
Gentleman in the front. 1 second, if you could speak into the microphone right there.
The sensor have some internal memory. I saw you can access directly to an application without using a tracking device. Have some internal memory, maybe?
These are actually Bluetooth sensor. Yes, they have internal memory as well, because actually all our solutions are based on whether we use black boxes inside, whether we use SD memory cards inside. But here we are not talking about any GPS solution, because wireless sensors work based on Bluetooth low energy technology. But I think maybe you would rather make this question to our technician because actually, I think yes.
Okay, thank you.
It might be my personal opinion.
Anybody else? Okay, great. Let's give it up to Ksenia. Thank you so much, Ksenia.
Thank you.